excited about refunds? I don't think a single host on earth is excited about the prospect of refunds, and they're always a hot topic. When should you give one? When should you not give one? Should you refund for days that you get rebooked, or should you give a credit for a future stay? There's a lot of different ins and outs with refunds. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I do for refunds, all of my opinions on it. So hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's get right into it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Airbnb ABCs. I'm super happy to have you guys here. Refunds are no fun for anyone. It usually means that something has either happened with the guest or something has happened with your property, and now that problem has come back to you, and you're either thinking about giving a guest a refund or they have requested that you give them a refund. And before we get into what to do with that request, let's get back to the big picture here. What is the number one thing that hosts are after? And for the most part, that is income. There are all sorts of other stuff. We want to give folks a good vacation. That is also really high up on our priority list. For the money that people are paying and the time that they are using, they're trusting you with their vacation. We do want to make sure that we're giving folks the best possible experience. But for us, most likely it is income. And so how are we going to get that income? The guests give it to us. They select our place and they pay us. But how are we going to get the guests other than having a really good listing, a really good property? It is the reviews. The reviews are the most important thing that you are going to be able to get for your property that you cannot just go out and buy. They give your awesome listing, your awesome property legitimacy from other people's perspectives. The big places, the big short-term rentals, the hotels, the Hiltons, the Marriotts, the Holiday Inns, those have legitimacy just based on their clout. Everyone knows what you're getting for the most part. When you go to those places, it's not the case with an independently owned and operated short-term rental like your place, where these reviews are the only way that people can know how your place goes. And so it is my goal to either get a 5-star review or try to get no review at all. And when it comes to refunds, a lot of hosts, they don't want to give refunds at all. The risk with that is that you can either keep all of their money and risk the review, or you can refund some of their money and possibly save a good review. And so today I'm going to break down the 3 different phases that guests usually ask for a review and what I do in any of those. And to preface this, a lot of times I make a judgment call based on what I think of the situation at the time. And so although I do have these guidelines, I always just go with what I think is right, what is going to help me sleep at night, but always keeping in mind that I'm looking to either get that 5-star review or get no review at all. So there are essentially 3 phases of a guest trip where they may want to cancel. That's before they arrive, during their stay, or sometime after their stay. And refunds before the stay starts are usually because somebody wants to cancel within your no cancellation window. And that can vary depending on what you have it set to. And that can vary even per platform. Airbnb, VRBO, your direct booking website. If you're on booking.com or anything else, you may have those set to different settings, and that it really doesn't matter. In general, if somebody asks me before they have even stayed if they can cancel within my no cancellation window, I just go ahead, let them cancel, and issue a full refund. I have them go ahead and initiate that on their end. It's because I cannot cancel for someone, or else there are very large penalties, financial and algorithm penalties. And I know that that's going to make some heads explode, especially with some of the folks that I speak to on a regular basis. But I am looking at the big picture. I am looking at keeping either 5-star reviews or no review at all. And in this case, we are going to be able to prevent them from leaving a review at all because they would never have checked into the property. And I'm also looking at keeping my stress level and my drama level to a minimum level. And if you're fighting back and forth with someone on if they can cancel, they can't cancel, if you are going to give them a refund for days booked, if you're going to give them a credit in the future, that adds to your problems, that adds to the drama. You may end up charging someone, they don't show up, they don't leave a review, but then they issue a chargeback, then you're trying to fight that chargeback. It's just a pain in the butt altogether. So if I can take a problem and just get rid of it completely, and I lose that $800 booking or that $1,200 booking or that $2,000 booking, That's not a big deal. At the end of the year, I am always within the top revenue grossing for all of my properties, and even with doing this type of refund process. The biggest thing is that a guest cannot review if they cancel before the check-in time. Because if you are going to force someone to come, you say, I'm not going to refund your money, you can come or not, then they can go ahead and leave a review. And even if they don't show up and they leave a bad review, a retaliatory review, a 1-star, there is a chance that that review may not be able to be taken down. Sure, they didn't actually physically check in. You may have some sort of evidence that your door locks, your cameras, or whatever. Maybe Airbnb, VRBO takes that review down. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I know for a fact that if they cancel the reservation, it is done. They cannot leave a review. Now, we've had several people say that they've been in emergencies. And this is only, when I say several, I want to say like 2 or 3. One was a car accident and someone else had a death in the family. Again, I think the car accident was on the way there, so it was the same day that they were checking in. I'm not asking for proof. I'm just going to take their word for it. They cancel their reservation. I issue a full refund. They seem to be grateful. If they're lying to me, that is on them. I'm not going to do the thing where you rebook, where you refund days that rebook in the future. There are no future credits either for stays down the road. That gets into a lot of, well, what was this day worth? What was this day worth? These credits in the future, was it a February booking that now they want to move to June or July? Just cancel that reservation or have them cancel. Give a full refund and just be on with it. If they did buy travel insurance, get the information for that so that you can use their travel insurance. But so many folks do not buy travel insurance that it isn't even funny. So in general, my refund policy before they check in is to just give a full refund for the most part. Again, using your discretion. And if it is a very popular time of the year, it's probably going to rebook. If it is a low part of the season, you're probably not out that much money anyway, and it could still potentially rebook. The next place where refunds come into play is going to be something during the stay. They have a problem during their stay, and there is a question of, well, should I go ahead and refund them? Or they're asking for a refund. And these usually rise from minor issues with the place, minor to moderate issues with the place. Like the guest found a bug. It might, we're not talking about bed bugs or roaches or anything. It might be like a ladybug or an ant or something where things, just get in. There might be a light out or a couple light bulbs out. Could be a hot tub issue. Hot tubs are a big thing in the Smokies where we are. And so hot tub issues are a sort of a moderate issue. Maybe they're a fridge issue or a power issue. These sorts of things come up time to time. And if you guys are getting into this and you've never been into this, you will have issues with your places. These are houses. They have systems that break down. HVAC breaks down, plumbing leaks. All of the things that happen at your house happen at these short-term rentals. Now, oftentimes something happens and I hear a host are thinking about just offering a refund. And I'm sitting there thinking, why would you do that? Most times, the guest just wants the things fixed and that's all. Most people are reasonable, even though it may not seem like that. Most people, if they have a problem with their vacation home that they've rented, and you send out someone in a reasonable amount of time, they get that those things happen and they're happy with that. If they request a refund because of one of these issues, consider it. There's no reason to just go ahead and automatically dismiss the request of a refund for some sort of issue that they've had with the property. But the thing that I'm always going to kind of temper that with is it going to save the review? If this person already seems like they are not going to give us a good review, no matter what we do with the thing, I may not refund them. If it is a major amenity, for example, like I said in the Smokies, if the hot tub happens to break while they're there or before they are there, this is some time where I will consider a refund because that is a major amenity that a lot of folks come down specifically to use. Not a lot of people have hot tubs in their everyday life, and so I will consider a refund if we do have a hot tub issue or some other major amenity that would come up that I honestly can't think of off the top of my head. If you have a disaster like a long-term power outage or something like that, go ahead and refund them for unused nights so that they can move on down the road, get a hotel somewhere, get a different accommodation, and try to salvage their vacation. There's no sense holding someone hostage for their money if your place just isn't going to be able to be habitable or reasonably habitable, even if it is from an outside utility provider like the power company or the water company if there is a water problem. And then sometimes you will just get someone that is just generally unpleasant and unpleasable. They come at you with a laundry list of problems, you know what I'm saying? And you just know that there is not going to be any resolution that is going to make them happy, that is going to salvage the review, and you're probably going to get a bad review anyway, but they are just driving you nuts. Eliminate that problem. Just tell them that you'll give them a full refund if they'll leave. They may be 2 nights into a 4-night stay, and you can just get them out of your place and out of your hair. Just say, oh, well, I'll refund everything. You know, maybe start with the, I'll refund the nights that you haven't used, but if that doesn't do it, just get them out of your hair, pay them to go away. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you want to win, you want to do this, but honestly, getting your stress level down is probably a bigger win than taking their money. But either offer them a full refund to go away, or just ghost them, I guess. That's the only other thing that you can do. Fighting with people long-term like this over the course of 3 or 4 days is honestly not worth $1,200 or $800. Pay them to go away. If you guys have been following along, you're probably going to suspect that the next one is refunds after the stay. And in my opinion, this is when most of the scams come out. This is when you'll see hosts posting things where a guest sends them a laundry list of issues that they were never notified during the stay, and now they're saying, I want a full refund, I want 50% off, something like that, and they were never afforded the opportunity to make these issues right, and it just seems sort of suspicious. If there was a real issue, if there was an issue with a hot tub, or you just had, just things didn't go right for this stay, the hot tub went out, then the fridge broke down, then the toilet leak, these things happen. There are stays that are just disasters, and that is just the way that these things go occasionally. But they are, the exception versus the rule. Go ahead and consider it. Consider the giving them a refund, but then consider also if that is going to salvage the review. If it was a real thing, there was actual, harm done, or there was a decrease in the enjoyment of the stay, you do what makes you sleep at night. You do what you think you should do, and be sure that they are real things that are within your control. Again, with all post-stay refunds, I sit here and think, can the review be salvaged? If not, and if these things are not real, if it was not any communication, I'm probably not going to pay somebody for a bad review. You're probably going to get a bad review anyway, so what's the purpose of giving them a ton of money back if they're just going to give you a bad review for something that you weren't even aware of or allowed to correct? Oftentimes with these, there's going to be some sort of language in their messaging that is going to essentially be extortion for a review, like we want to leave you a good review, but we are going to need a refund for these issues in order for us to leave that 5-star review. At that point, you probably don't need to talk to them at all anymore. You need to just go to the platform. Airbnb and VRBO both have rules in place for extorting hosts for reviews. They will take care of that, and then if any review is put up, you can have them taken down with their extortion language. With any refund or refund request, always just keep in mind what is fair, what is your best judgment on the thing. If you decide to give a refund and it's $200 or $300 or even $1,200, if you want to just get somebody out of a place that is causing you a lot of problems, that is relatively small potatoes in the grand scheme of things for the amount of money that you should be earning over the course of the year for your entire short-term rental. The good news is that refunds are relatively rare, and getting a problem to go away is sometimes your best course of action for your business, for your reviews, for your general state of mind, and the level of stress and drama that you have to take on in addition to all the other things that are generally just along with running a real estate business, running a short-term rental, and dealing with guests on a regular basis. So guys, click on the links that are on the screen right now. They're going to tell you guys all about the trials and tribulations of running a short-term rental business, how we manage these things from afar, and there's a playlist up here of all the types of cabins that we buy so that you guys can see exactly what it is I'm talking about when we're talking about buying the right place, the top tier places, and setting them up in ways that are going to get you the best guests with the best bookings, the highest rates, that will not be requesting refunds for the most unreasonable stuff. I appreciate you guys watching today. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below, hit that like button, and I will see you on the next one.